This is MISHA Osherovich from the movie Freaky, and you are watching The ARROYO Show.
Come on in, you guys. Welcome to the show. This is The ARROYO Show. My name is Brandon Arroyo. If it's your first time here, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. What a guest we have for you today. You can see them starring in the new comedy horror film Freaky alongside Vince Vaughn. Please welcome MISHA Osherovich. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Apparently not as good as you are. What do we have drinking right now? Is it tea? What do we got in there?
Oh goodness! Oh, the angle, you can even see it too. So it's my morning health tea. There's some apple cider vinegar in there, some lemon juice. It is very bougie and very healthy.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. With this angle, you have some serious tea YouTube instructional videos in your future.
Thank you.
This angle.
Welcome to my masterclass. Thank you so much.
Well, the masterclass in one-liners. I mean, a great line from this film. Let's dive right into Freaky. The line is, "You're black, I'm gay, we are so dead," which is a perfect way to sum up the viewing experience for most horror films. Before this film, what were your experiences in the horror genre as a viewer?
Oh, I actually learned a ton about horror by doing this film. I had watched horror films before this, and Jennifer's Body is one of my all-time favorite films ever. But I truly was not aware of the depth of this genre until not even just doing this film, but getting to know our co-writers Michael Kennedy and Chris Landon. They really exposed me to how kind of deep this genre can go.
The genre is serving this film very well. Currently certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Back-to-back weeks is #1 at the box office. And this week, #2. So the 3 weeks in a row in the top 3. When you hear those numbers, what's your reaction to the success that this film has had?
I'm going to be very honest with you that besides the fact that we're in a pandemic and a film like this that allows the audience to essentially just get scared shitless and laugh shitless, it doesn't surprise me that it's doing well. But also, I know the amount of work that went into this film, and I'm so very proud of everybody on the team. It really became like a family team doing it. So it honestly doesn't surprise me, just because I know how much love went into it. So,
And it seems like those family relationships have lasted on after filming is wrapped. Celeste O'Connor, Catherine Newton playing the roles of your BFFs in this film. When was the first time the three of you met and gave us this awesome friendship that we've continued to see on Instagram?
It was for costume fittings on set. We were all there to test out makeup, test out costumes. Catherine was so nice when we walked in. I was nervous as all. I don't even know if I can curse here, but I was very nervous because it's my first decently big role in a film, and but the set was so warm and welcoming. And yeah, Celeste and Catherine and I have really maintained a friendship, and that's really special. That doesn't always happen.
I mean, you talk about this set, and I think that when you have those casts that really just connect, it comes through on film, which this one did. Can you take us on to what that set was like? Let's talk about that behind the scenes a little bit. What memories, What stories are going to stick out in your mind from your time working on Freaky?
I mean, honestly, it was, like I said, it was really fun. We had a really good family environment. A lot of that has to do with Chris Landon. Chris Landon basically makes his business to make sure that everybody feels comfortable and is having fun on set. It was just an overall fun time. But I mean, most of us are staying at the same hotel too. So we got into not like a normal set shenanigans, but it was funny to get back to the hotel at 3 a.m. after shooting. And of course you're supposed to go straight to bed, but sometimes we didn't because it was just kind of fun to hang out.
We're on the line right now with MISHA Osherovich. You can see in the new movie Freaky alongside Vince Vaughn, currently top in the box office charts. Let's talk about Vince Vaughn. So you're in a scene with someone that's been really in the top of the box office for years. We're talking about Wedding Crashers, Couples Retreat, and it's not very often that young talent get to have scenes across from comedy legends like this. What was it like working with Vince Vaughn for yourself?
It was an experience and a half. Vince, I've been saying this a lot as we do interviews, and I think it's a great way to describe him. Vince is kind of intensely curious because he's a comedian. He's always looking for a new way to do a take. He will constantly surprise you. You never know what he's going to throw at you in the scene, but also out of the scene, he wants to get to know you. You have to be prepared to have a real conversation about your deep values, because he's going to ask you, and he's not going to stop even at 3 a.m. So it was a real learning experience on being with somebody who loves this industry and who loves learning about people.
For many of us, the trailer was the first time we saw this film, and it honestly it was so well done. It just makes you want to jump in and see this because it gives you sort of Mean Girls meets, I don't know, slasher film vibes. When the trailer was released, obviously really funny. What was your first reaction to seeing the trailer and seeing yourself on a film of this magnitude for the first time?
You know what's weird is like I don't like fully recognize myself. I mean, it was so fun to dive into this character, this like super queer, awesome high schooler that Michael Kennedy and Chris Landon have written. But like to see like the one-liners in the trailer, I'm just like, I said that? I did it that way? What?
And those one-liners are really what people are going to be quoting the next day. I mean, obviously, I started off the interview talking with you about the line, you're black, I'm gay, we are so dead. When you see those lines in a script when you're preparing for them, do you just get excited like, oh, I'm going to be able to sink my teeth into this line when we get to that scene?
Honestly, yes, with this script in particular, and that's what I really want to commend Chris and Michael on, is that this script read the way that you watched it. They know the world that they're building, so I saw it when I read the script, and you don't always get that when you read a script, so it really was exciting to even just get a first read at it.
I'm so happy for you because this movie, the success of it, is really the culmination or the start of a brand new tier for you after so many years of hard work. So I want to dive into your story for a minute. You grew up in Washington, D.C. Your parents were Russian immigrants. What was life like for you as a child, and when did acting become a passion?
So, I mean, look, life, my parents love me dearly, and, we have a wonderful relationship now, but it was hard growing up. You know, I'm queer, I'm an artistic kid, and none of those things really resonated with especially my parents at the time. As I'm sure you know by now, like I've talked about it a bunch, I had some mental health issues growing up, and it was really difficult to kind of find my footing as a teenager. But acting happened really by accident, you know, after going through a good amount of actually rehab when I was younger and kind of figuring my life out on that front, I just kind of landed in acting college truly by accident, and all of a sudden I was funneled into the theater world, and it just kind of happened.
You talk about going into theater college. You did some acting at Montclair State. You're practicing for years. What was life like at Montclair State? Because as soon as I said that, a big smile came across your face. Obviously, those were some years for you that you were really doing a lot of growing.
Oh God, I love MSU, and like some of my best friends to this day came from college, and you know I didn't really have a traditional high school experience, so it was the first time I really made kind of adult friends, and especially you know the loving theater community that I was kind of welcomed into. So I mean MSU it means a lot to me.
And after that, you performed in the off-Broadway production of Clockwork Orange. What was the feeling like to be cast in a play like that after you've spent so many years in training? It's like, here I am, this is what I can do.
I didn't believe it, actually, because it took forever and a day. That audition process, I was doing callbacks 9 or 10 times. It was so grueling. I wasn't sure if I booked the role. Weeks went by, and I was in New York. I was depressed. I was working a shitty day job, and my agent called me, and he goes, "Hey, so I have some news for you." I'm like, "What? Like, I don't believe it's anything good." And he's like, "Would you ever dye your hair blonde?" And I'm like, I don't know why. And then he's like, "Well, you booked it." And then I just screamed on the subway platform, and that was that.
If that is not the most romanticized story of a New York experience on the subway, getting the call that you're going to be working on Broadway.
It was really wonderful.
That's the city of theater, Broadway, New York. That's what everybody looks at for theater. What did that mean for you to have that in your background, that you had that experience?
I mean, even to this day, it's such a feather in my cap. I mean, that was also not an easy show. You know, it was very physically demanding. There were some really high caliber performers from both Broadway and the West End in it. I really felt like I had to show up. So to be given that opportunity and to be told that I was like good enough and talented enough to work on that show it was very validating. And it still is today. Well,
success in your professional career and then big steps for you in your personal life over the last couple of months. You came out as non-binary over quarantine. Perhaps there's never been a time in history with a movement this strong to support and spotlight the LGBTQ community. What does it mean for you to be a part of that push right now? I'm nothing but humbled, actually. And I say this a lot because coming out as non-binary was such a big and kind of freeing moment for me. But I don't pretend to know everything about the queer community. In fact, I love that I'm constantly learning about my queer peers and allies and folks inside the LGBTQIA+ community. But their
strength and their ability to talk about their real selves and to really show up as voices for younger generations that are trying to come up and, find themselves in the queer community. I'm nothing but humbled to be part of it. And I feel like I learned so much, not just about myself, but about other queer folks every day by opening myself up to being, non-binary and out and proud about it, as opposed to kind of keeping it more internal.
And what's unique about your position is it's so timely as well. You're in a box office topping movie right now in a role that is a role where you're portraying a character like that, and there's so many, it's back and forth, right? Like there was such a big backlash over Harry Styles wearing a dress. Like for
Sure.
the timeliness of what's going on, do you feel like any gravity with being in that role at this time right now?
I mean, I feel a gravity in the sense that, like, I never had a human growing up that I looked on a screen and said, that's me, I see that. Or even if that person had a public profile, I never felt like I had, like, queer role models growing up. And I don't think to any extent that I'm a fully fleshed out queer role model. I'm still a developing human. I'm still learning. But I hope that just by being existing publicly as a very queer human and wearing my makeup and saying the things that I want to say and talking about mental health, I hope that I can at least start a conversation with some folks that maybe haven't had those conversations before.
You're definitely in a position to start that conversation. So congratulations on all the professional success and the personal success in the last couple of months as well. As we begin to wind down the interview, we have something called the Final Five. It is the last 5 questions of the interview, and they are the who, what, when, where, and how of what you have going on right now. So the first one is, who do you speak with the most in your everyday life right now?
Oh, absolutely. My roommate who I'm fully waking up right now by doing this interview, but Michael is so darn important to me. I love him.
So apologies to the roommate for waking him up, because I know I have a little bit of a loud voice as well. What item do you use each day?
Oh, absolutely. Ooh, I have an ice roller that I like. Oh my God, I'm so nerdy. It reduces inflammation, kind of gives you a nice glow. I use my ice roller every morning.
What is it, like a paintbrush roller that has ice on it, or what is it?
Yes, actually,
really?
it's like that you would use it on a paint on a wall to paint, but like it's like an ice kind of like almost frozen like block, and you just kind of like go at your face with it. It's exceedingly bougie, but
Okay, once quarantine's over and our studio in Hollywood opens back up, we're gonna invite you in for another interview, and I want the ice roller with us so we can see.
Oh, I'll bring it. I'll bring the whole regimen. We can do a whole tutorial.
Oh, there it is. Book it. It's happening. All right. When did you know that you wanted to pursue acting full time?
Truly, it was right at, I didn't know until I was 18, and I kind of landed, like I said, very by accident in acting college, and I did my freshman year of acting school, and I said, oh shit, I really like this. So, right at 18.
Where is your dream vacation?
I don't want to say that I've already had my dream vacation, but I will say that I went to Thailand by myself right after shooting Freaky as kind of like a runaway reward. And in that part of Asia, I felt so kind of in touch with me and myself. So I probably want to go back to somewhere around there.
The final question of the Final Five. How do you define success?
I think I define success by being able to wake up every morning and not think about my work, because it's in a place where I know I've created so many things that I'm proud of, and so many things are on the horizon that I can think about just my life and my emotions and my loved ones, because it's all kind of in the pocket already. That's what success means to me.
MISHA Osherovich, you can see starring alongside Vince Vaughn in Freaky. Check it out right now. MISHA, if you had 30 seconds to give that final elevator pitch, why go check out Freaky? What would you have to say to the people?
Go check out Freaky, because look, the world is in a really interesting place right now, and I know that a lot of us are scared or don't know necessarily where to turn for comfort. Freaky is funny. Freaky is a little scary. Freaky has a lot of gay moments, a lot of proud moments, a lot of moments for wonderful finding of identity. I think it's just a wonderful time, and I'm so proud of it. I think you'll have a great time watching it.
Thank you so much, MISHA. You do a fantastic job. It's been a privilege to chat with you. We look forward to seeing what you have coming up next, and congratulations on everything with Freaky.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure too.